So let's look at some religious bullshit here. Ugh, this stuff is vexing, meaning it's so difficult for me to comprehend the stupidity of all of this crap. The way that people like that idiot Lou, whatever his name was, that was trying to argue with me about all of this stuff. Let's look at this. Okay, let's look at the masonry in here. Anybody see a hexagon or a cube on the church? So this is just a regular church. There you go. There it is. And then we got, of course, the X up here, because that's really what that is, right? It's really an X. Just an X. That's all. And it belongs in here. Is what the fact of the matter is. This one, you got the yellow here with the pink. These things here are not this bullshit they give you in the Bible, palm leaves and shit. This is showing you that this is energy. Because after all, these are the two pillars. And here's Saturn in the center, the bell. Okay? This one's a hoot. Look at this. Here's the vortex right here taking off. Actually, there's 4 pillars. You only see the first 2. But here's the energy firing out the top. And at the top, what do we got? You got this dude over here. Right there. Okay? This one is great. I love when they try and pluck your heartstrings. I am so thankful for the church bells. First of all, let me stop. This word here, church bells. Does that really have anything in common with anything? I mean, let's just think about that. It's a religious institution that's supposed to be getting you closer to God, yet it's represented at the very apex of it with a fucking bell. So what are they telling you? Who are they telling you God is? They're telling you that it's Bell Saturn. That's what they're telling you. It's not this other thing that they're telling you. They're telling you that it's Bell Saturn. Okay, so people don't get any of that. But that's fine. Go on with your stupidity. But anyway, let's just go back to this here. I am so thankful for the church bells. A reminder of God's calling. At what point? At what point? See, you never educated or hipped anybody to that dude to bring us closer to him. This is where this is funny. See your name right here? Laura D. Fields. You see the little symbol here? You see this symbol right here? That's probably too big. Well, you get the gist of it unless I can find it on my keyboard. Hang on a second. There you go. I put one right there. So let's just do this. See that? That's what that is up there. There's 2 of them, one on either end. So this is telling me that this is electrical, or that it's time. Usually it represents time, or it's electrical. Let's just take her name here, because that's suspect, because we're dealing with Saturn and the bell and electrical fields and stuff. So what is her name? Her name is Laura. So let's get the L out of the way first of all. Want to? Because that's always fun to do. Let's get the L out of the way. We'll just move that over here. Well, let's move it down here. Okay. And then what is the rest of her name? Well, it's aura. Well, what's an aura? Well, it's a magnetic field that's around your body. At least that's what the New Agers call it, right? So what is it saying again? I'm so thankful for the church bells, a reminder of God's calling to bring us closer to Him. So so now we're talking an L aura, right? We're talking about an L aura, and then because it's electrical, what do we have? We have an electrical field, and we know that this woman does not exist as, maybe she may be a real person somewhere, but in this case, they're using trickery again. L aura field. And let's see what an L aura field is, shall we? Let's just check. Bear with me. Here it is here. 1935, H.S. Burr and the Northrop proposed the existence of regulating fields on paper tilted the electrodynamic theory of life. So let's just bring this word out here. Electrodynamic. right? And then, let's see, that goes the electro theory of life. Right? Because really, isn't it a reminder? So it's electrodynamic, like I told you, that's what these two symbols here are, right? And it says the proposals offered in this paper have allowed up to the passage during 40 years by the number of scientists have culminated work by Dr. Saxton Burr and proves the existence of what Burr calls L fields of life. Uh-oh. Looks like all the religion just fell the fuck apart. I don't want to cover that up too much. So L Laura fields becomes L aura field, and here's your L fields here, fields of life, right? And this is all because of the church bell. I see. I'm so sick of this trickery and this fucking deception shit within the religions. Because all you're looking at here is just high equation and mathematical physics. It doesn't mean that Jesus didn't exist and do all the things that are written about him. This exactly proves to me that he did. Because he was a dude running around yapping his mouth about what this fucking shit probably really was versus the way that they wanted to trick people with this stuff. I think this is great. This here, below here, this is the Church of Saturn, and it's a Christian church. But I like this because at least they don't fuck around. Because right in the middle, what do they got? They got the bell sitting right in the fucking middle of the four pillars. You're just saying the two pillar, 2 and 2. But really there's 4 like on the church here. Okay, that's where your electric field gets set up. And let's see where they're located in case anybody just happens to be in the neighborhood. If you happen to be in the neighborhood and you'd like to stop by the Saturn Church in Texas, then you may go to this address. 3030 Saturn Road, which would also be this. 33 Saturn Road. There. Wonderful, this religious stuff, isn't it? They took an old system that blew up. People that understood how it worked, hoarded the knowledge, created an order out of it. Then out of the order, they created a brotherhood out of it. Out of the brotherhood, they created a religion out of it. Out of a religion, they created a governmental system. And out of that, they got people to worship a broken piece of equipment. Because somewhere there used to be a big piece of equipment or pieces of equipment that all worked and worked together to create power, and it no longer is working. So these are like just like recreation artifacts put together, and people go there to worship, never knowing for 1 second this is a big fucking electrical story. It's a big electrical story from the smallest to the biggest. I mean, we know that Saturn is Dr. Evil. Not that it is, but I'm just using that as an example. He would be Dr. Evil. And then the Nazi bell would be Mini-Me. And then Saturn would be a Mini-Me to something much greater. And then that would be a Mini-Me to something greater. And then Mini-Me would be something greater than something smaller than itself, because it goes both ways. That's why you need a telescope to look far away at the bigger things, and you need a microscope to look at the teeny things closer up. See, nobody's going to be able to argue with this stuff because it is what it is. You can argue the religion all you want to. Okay? Because this is all we've got. This is all we've got. If there's any other writings out there or anything else about any of the truth, we ain't privy to it. But the Masons have built this shit into their architecture. And the Masons build every temple, every mosque, and every church. Unless you're John Boy Walton and you built your own, you're going into something they built. So their story is going to be in that structure. And you're always going to find it. I don't give a fuck what church you go to. You're going to find it. Because they're the keepers of the story, at least the way they're telling it. And they're going to make sure that they tell it the way that they want to. Problem is, they don't really hip you to that. If you just happen to stumble upon it, well, great, whatever. But that doesn't mean you get to join the club. That's the bottom line. You can see this. Nobody has to stretch their imagination. There's no conspiracy here. A conspiracy is when you say something that's outlandish and it's just, there's no way to connect it. This isn't a conspiracy. This is fact. Anybody can see this. Anybody with a little bit of a brain can see how this is all connected. You understand it. Where you guys are lacking is you don't understand the biblical story. If you understood the biblical story, this shit would fall right into place at light speed for you guys. But you're learning. At least you're understanding. And understand, symbols were the first language. So they're speaking in symbology here. It's just that they never taught you that. They gave you letters and words and sounds. So, I'm glad we had time for this little chat.